Welcome everybody. Today we are having a faculty in focus session, one of many in a series. Today we're going to be discussing health administration and environmental health management, which are two programs that we're offering at Canadian University Dubai as bachelor's degrees. We have some guests today. First of all, my name is Greta. I'm a student enrollment advisor here at CUD. I'm here with my coworker Ahmed, who's also a student enrollment advisor.
Hi, Greta. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, good. Oh, good. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. We're also here today with Layla, who is actually a CUD alumnus, and she's also
Hello.
helping us with student enrollment. Hi, Layla.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you so much. You guys, Layla actually graduated from the Environmental Health Management program, so we thought it was only fitting to have her as one of our panelists here today. And last but not least here, we have Dr. Aseel. Hi, Dr. Aseel.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today and representing the program. I understand you're going to give us a bit of a presentation today, so I'm really excited to see that. And hopefully we get lots of participants, get lots of questions answered. First, I want to start with some personal questions for you and Layla, actually. But Dr. Aseel, I want to start with you, if that's okay.
Glad.
All right. My question for you is, what did you envision your career in environmental health management to be versus what it's like today?
I think I always had a dream when I was way younger. I'm still young, don't let the gray hair fool you, but as in way younger. I was more drawn towards international relations, more United Nations style, more being a politician. It was only, I think, when I did my real first presentation at university and I stood in front of a crowd that I was like, no, I'm not interested in politics. I'm more interested in delivering information to others where they would be able to carry it for a long time, not a short time. Not I would deliver my speech by the time they're out of the auditorium, they forgot what I spoke about. And I always knew that being in academia is demanding. Yet it did not stop me. I remember I was accepted for two programs. One was a Bachelor of Science in Biology, and the other one was a Bachelor of Science in Public Health, specialization in environmental health. And at that time, environmental health was kind of new. Okay, so people, I chose environmental health. So people would ask me like, why? So you're going to collect garbage from the streets? I'm like, no, environmental health is not about collecting garbage from the streets. It's more about the complete lifestyle that you lead, your relationship with the environment, which affects directly and indirectly your health. So it's more than just collecting garbage. And I was so focused. I was focused on my bachelor. I was focused getting my MS and then a PhD. I didn't come to academia directly. I did some detours in the industry only to be able to deliver the correct message when I go back to academia. I can couple the theory with the practice. So I made sure that I would spend my first years in my professional career in the industry to understand what really goes on. And when I understood or I had enough information, I decided to shift back to academia. And this is what I do. I usually couple the theory with the real life practice. I wasn't surprised. There were no surprises when I came back to academia. So I didn't have an expectation and the reality was different. No, it was what I was expecting, from the teaching bit to the research bit to the advising bit to attending or sitting on committees. So there was no surprise. And I think being passionate makes a big difference. So it is not a job, it's my passion. So it's what I love doing day and night, which makes it even more enjoyable and makes your expectations fulfillable. So does that answer your question?
That was an amazing answer, I must admit. And Layla, I have a question for you now, and I think it's going to be interesting to hear your thought process after hearing Dr. Aseel's experience with after she was a fresh grad and how she kind of evolved into where she is now. So Layla, I was wondering, what was your thought process when you decided on environmental health management, and do you feel like you made the right choice so far in choosing a major?
I definitely made the right choice because I was so happy while I was studying with different courses that I took from water pollution to waste control, some courses that was related to health. And especially after the pandemic, I could actually implement a lot of things that maybe before they weren't concentrating in. When I was first, I chose this major because I really like to know more information regarding water pollution, especially with food safety. And that, of course, after the two courses that I've taken, especially water treatment, I have taken it with Dr. Aseel as well. She was the professor for that course, and it was very informative. And actually, we implemented because we had also trips happening to Ras Al Khaimah, where we actually saw the process. So I was really like happy, and I'm glad I chose this, and I can't wait to eventually also help other students or family and to implement or to also choose this major.
Wow, that's awesome. It sounds like both of you guys are really passionate about the environment and about health in general. And that's what this is all about, right? We want to study what we're passionate about and what we're going to care about for the rest of our lives, hopefully. So that's really cool. And thank you guys so much for joining us for this webinar today. Dr. Aseel has planned a bit of a presentation or a discussion. Dr. Aseel, if we have questions, would you prefer that we interject or wait until the end of your
I don't
discussion?
mind. I don't mind. You can interject. Keep it
Awesome.
hot.
Great.
Mhm.
For those watching, if you do have any questions pertaining to this program or pertaining to admissions at CUD in general, feel free to type them. Ahmed and I will address them. Um, and yeah, let's get started. Take it away, Dr. Aseel.
Thank you. So, good morning, all. And I say good morning because I'm on the other side of the world, and no better way to introduce the Environmental Health Sciences Department at Canadian University, Dubai, other than being in Canada itself. So, I join you live today, all the way from Canada, to talk about the Environmental Health Sciences Department, which I chair. The Environmental Health Sciences Department is the first department which is outside Canada to be accredited by the Canadian Eco-Canada Institution. This shows you how this department is committed, and it shows you the belief of the international accreditation body Eco-Canada in the curriculum or in the study plan of this major. We are a small department, and we've been established more than 10 years ago with a steady influx of students who have been majoring in either a Bachelor of Environmental Health Sciences or a Bachelor of Science in Health Organization Management. Why would you choose a major in environment or environmental health management, or why would you even come to CUD, to this department? What makes us different? What makes us special? You can say, well, there are lots of other universities that offer the same program and the same study plan. I would agree, yes, but you would not find the same batch of instructors. We are a family. We are a small family. Our students are our extended family. So in the department, you're not a number, you are a person where you interact with your advisor, with your peers, and we have a collection or information about every single one of you. okay, in details. Not only what courses did you take, what classes did you attend, what is your GPA. No, I'd like to say, and I'd like to think, and Leila can expand more on that, that we've crossed this. Our students are our colleagues, those who are graduated now, at least, I cannot consider them other than my colleagues. That's it. They've got their former certification now. So they are my colleagues in the field. Those who are studying are my, I'm not going to say children, I'm not too old. Let's say I'm their mentor, okay? And my colleagues are their mentors. The program is the first program accredited outside Canada, to be a Canadian program accredited outside Canada. The program has been accredited by the Ministry of Higher Education, fully approved. It combines the theory and the practice. So it's not only you come, you sit in a class, you memorize and you sit for an exam. This doesn't work. You come to a class, you attend theoretical lessons, and most of these theoretical lessons are coupled with practice, fieldwork, exposure to experts outside, research. So it combines both theory and it combines both the practice, which I think would stick more in the heads of students rather than just memorize. Now, the students that choose to study a BS in environmental health management choose so because it covers a variety of disciplines. The degree would prepare you for both technical and professional demands of the careers in this field, the field of environment. Only in the field of environment. We're talking about environment, we're talking about human health, safety, healthcare institutions, and also research. Most of these students who have graduated or are currently still in the program have been actively involved within their communities through planning and executing environmental health projects. They have been taught how to analyze, evaluate, control environmental health issues. And as a graduate of CUD's Bachelor of Science in Environmental Health Management, they will have a strong background in managing environmental health issues relevant to our societies, to the modern society. So not only to the society they live in, but also internationally. The program equips students with current tools and techniques to try and face challenging issues related to health organization, environmental health, and it helps in making an important contribution to the workforce immediately after graduation. The first question I usually get in our open houses is, where would I work? Who would take me? My reply would be that as an environmental health management graduate, not only you do have the chance to make an impact on people's life and contribute to healthier societies, you also will be highly employable in a range of careers. So there has never been and there will not be a shortage of job opportunities in institutions and professions. We're talking about government ministries, such as the Ministry of Climate Change, for example, international healthcare organizations, United Nations agencies, the UNEP, the United Nations Environmental Programme, or the UNDP, the United Nations Development Programs, and others, environmental and health consultancy firms, the Big Four. They have departments that are solely dedicated for environment and health. So non-governmental organizations, healthcare institutions, hospitals, clinics, insurance companies, any industry that is related to health management, environmental agencies, educational and research institutions, school if you are at a level of a bachelor, universities if you are at a level of MS and PhD if you decide later on to pursue your academic career, okay? and any industries that are linked to health, safety, hazards, food safety, water resources, solid waste management, green buildings, sustainable buildings, oil industries. All of these are potential workplace areas for you. About a fourth of our students decide to pursue their postgraduate studies, and they leave, the majority leave to Canada to pursue their MS or MPH, which is a Master's of Public Health, and the rest usually go directly into the workforce. They, some of them decide to take extra internships to increase or strengthen their CVs and then apply for jobs. So job-wise, it is very encouraging, and unfortunately, the pandemic made it even more encouraging. You have seen now how governments have shifted into their budgetary allocations to focus on health and environment, which before was a bit at the bottom of the list. And when the pandemic hit, you saw how our health system was at crisis. So that shifted governments to change their priorities and actually no, our health institutions need to be our focus, because there is a possibility that similar pandemics may hit during our lifetime. We're not talking about 100 years later, but during our lifetime. So the focus has been shifted to health and environment. Moreover, you have lots of people who said that with COVID-19, the environment has improved. Air pollution is less, water pollution is less. Yes, but this was or still is temporary. We have still not seen the effects of post-COVID on the environment when everything reopens again. Did people really learn a lesson from COVID, and are they environmentally committed, or was it forced on them? Okay, now the lack of travel, the lockdowns forced people to stay home. But when everything opens, will people again jump on planes and add to the carbon footprint? Will people decide to carpool when they go to work, or will everyone drive his or her own car to work rather than carpooling or taking mass communication? So saying that COVID had a positive impact on environment is a prejudgment. We need to wait a bit. On the other side, COVID added pressure on the single-use plastics, right? Because restaurants, for example, no more offer you the reusables. They give you plastics. What happens to those plastics? They get dumped. When we were under lockdown, how many of us increased the online purchasing, Amazon, ordering food, and everything comes packaged in cardboard and plastic? What did we do with this? So we added to the solid waste management problem, didn't we? What about the masks and the injections? What happens to them? I don't know if you ever walk on the streets and just look on the floor and you notice some masks discarded. How are these going to be disposed? Are we going to add pressure to our landfills? Because those are hazardous waste and we need to be very careful how we're going to dispose of them. So it's a mix and match. So we need to fully wait until COVID is over, give ourselves some time, and then assess the impact of COVID-19 on the environment. By that time, we will need lots of fresh graduates who are going to help in assessing the situation, okay, and who are going to try and enforce or put pressure on governments and on politicians and on decision makers that the environment is a priority now. We cannot go back to how we were. We have reached a threshold. If you watch documentaries, and I'm a big fan of David Attenborough, so do have a look at his documentaries, environmental documentaries. He clearly says that we have reached threshold, and none of us knows the Earth's carrying capacity. How long can the Earth sustain us? We don't know. No one knows. Okay, there's a capacity that the Earth can sustain. We are crossing the threshold when it comes to water pollution, when it comes to air pollution, when it comes to solid management, when it comes to population size increase, and other aspects of environment. So it's the old, new, hot topic, environment, health, environment, especially the link. When you have a healthy environment, you have healthy people. When you have healthy people, hopefully they will contribute to a healthy environment, a healthier environment for their offsprings or for the future generations, especially that we are not the owners of this earth. And we have to ensure that we pass on this earth at least the same way we found it, if not better. But what we're doing is generation after generation, we are handing the earth in a worse situation than what we found it. So this is it. This is about the program. Why is it important? Why do I find it intriguing? It's a 4-year program, 126 credits. It combines obligatory courses that are from the ministry and then departmental core courses that, again, as Leila spoke about, they're related to air and marine pollution, toxicology, occupational health and safety, introduction to environmental sciences, seminars, special topics in environment, in public health. You've got fundamentals of healthcare management, healthcare finance, healthcare statistics, healthcare ethics, healthcare operations. You've got electives, art electives, and you've got also major electives. You choose one of the major electives related to environment or health. Towards the end of the program, you've got a research course, which is in other words, your graduation project, where you have to submit a complete research that is judged by the members of the department with an external guest sometimes, and it's your graduation project. Last year, we were so lucky with our graduation projects because we tried to incorporate our students into publishing what they write. Okay, so it's not only us who reads it and it goes to archiving. We encourage them to attempt to submit a research that is of a peer review value, so it can be published in a Scopus journal. And Leila is one of these students. I'll let Leila talk more about her experience. And Leila, recently, her paper has been accepted in a Scopus journal, and it will be published by next month. So not only she's graduating with a merit, she's graduating, she has already been exposed to the industry, but she is graduating with a scientific article under her belt that she will add to her CV, and she would be referenced also by other scientific researchers. So this adds to their value. This adds to their value if they decide to pursue their postgraduate studies. Like, yes, the student is of caliber. They know how to write and produce a scientific paper, and it adds to their value in the industry. Like, yes, this student can analyze, can put a 30-page document, reasonable logic document together, and can evaluate. So this is one of the other things that makes us special. Again, we said small family. We are very close to our students. We incorporate the theory with the industry, and we push the students to publish and to become of known names in the field. Our research interests, each of the faculty members has a research interest. You have interests in climate change, public health, occupational health and safety, digital healthcare. So each professor, each instructor has his or her own research interest that they build on. Okay, they work, they publish, they seek grants, they attend conferences, and they build on their knowledge also to share with the students. What else do you want to know? I can keep talking, going on and on and on.
I think it'd be great for Layla to share her experience both as a student and as a former intern. Um, like you mentioned, it's part of the like senior project basically to do an internship. And also, Layla, I'd love to hear about your article as well. And you know, where you're planning on going in the future. Like it's just the beginning for you. So please take it away.
I'm just taking a break from all the studying right now until I'm spreading my CVs everywhere. So let's see what's gonna happen. I was actually really happy regarding the research, the course, the graduation project that ended up to be published, inshallah, next month. Our topic was mainly about assessing the changes that the indicators in the UAE and the effects that were tested from the year of 2003 until 2019, from the temperature to cloud seeding and the effects that happened to the global warming. It had more details, more statistics, the effects of for humidity, the decrease in the rainfall, and all that. Hopefully, everyone will actually read it, and it will be the professors will share it with their students starting in September or any other year as well. The research was actually between four of my colleagues. It was Fatma, Hamid, Aisha, and I, of course, with the assistance of Dr. Aseel and Dr. Rami as well. So it was a collaboration of work, and I'm actually really, really happy that it has been published. And I really can't wait to have something else also, working on something else to be published eventually in the future.
Yeah. Layla, I'm just curious, what was it like for you starting out as a CUD student? Can you kind of give those of us watching here kind of an idea of what it's like when you're just starting out, figuring out what you're doing, the ins and outs, the day-to-day, everything? Paint us a picture if you could.
Well, in the beginning, it's really different having the experience as a high school student compared to a university student. At first, I was a little bit shy, hesitant. It's not easy to speak to professors or to actually have friends. But as Dr. Aseel said, we are actually a family. You can actually knock the door on any professors. You can talk to them normally as if they're a friend, not even as a professor. It's easy to gain friends in the university. You'll not like everyone knows everyone in the university, and the professors are really really helpful through their office hours, outside their office hours, through personal issues, to university, to classes, everything. Um, I know for sure. I know for sure that whoever is going to join CUD is going to be very happy, admittedly, and as eventually having another family with them.
Very good. Awesome. What was it like specifically as an environmental health management student from year one to year four? What was the progression like for you academically in terms of difficulty and in terms of just subject matter?
Of course,
Greta, you need, Leila, just before you answer, you need
yes.
to add to that question, you need to ask her, exclude Dr. Asil's supervision. Okay?
It was easier in the first couple of years. Later, when you're in the third, fourth, yeah, it's gonna be hard. Dr. Asil is actually very friendly, but when it comes to classes, she's very straightforward with us, but
But
helpful.
why? Why? Explain to them,
Because
Leila, why?
you have the experience, you know what's out there. We still don't know you, so you are giving us that start for us to eventually deal with the outside world. So you're being tough on us because you know what's gonna happen eventually, and you want us to be ready. So that's why, compared with other professors, yes, they are very helpful, but she gave us that help to eventually step up after that we graduate.
Yeah.
Greta, and also, and this is applicable to all my colleagues, no doubt. Remember, we're here to graduate the elites, okay? We're not here to graduate numbers. Graduating numbers is so easy, but I always tell them, I'm here. So in 10 years' time, when someone tells you, who taught you this, you would remember, okay? We're here to make sure that you as a CUD and as an environmental health sciences department graduate, people would say, actually, yes, they know what they're talking about. They're not just a number or any graduates, okay? So yes, as Leila said, I am strict, but not for the sake of being strict, because I want them to be the best of the best, okay? And I remind them the same statement, I'm here because I want you to be the best of the best. My life would be so much easier if I went in, gave my class, posted it on Moodle, and left. But no, it defeats the point, because this generation is the generation that's going to take over. Okay, so in 10 years' time, when I walk into a hospital, I need to be comfortable that yes, this is a generation I helped in graduating, and I know what they're talking about, okay, rather than worrying. Someone who wants to live in a flat needs to be comfortable that the engineer or the fresh graduate of engineering knows what he did, okay, and he would be comfortable living on the 24th floor, okay, rather than having their doubts. So I consider my students, they are the elite of the elites, and the information that they have gained, at least in their last 2 years, I am sure it will make a big difference to them. Now, Leila mentioned that she is spreading her CVs everywhere. Bear in mind, Leila just graduated 4 weeks ago, even less. When did summer one end? Okay. So she's a fresh graduate, barely a fresh graduate, okay? So yes, things do not happen over time, okay? Do not happen overnight, I'm sorry. 3 weeks, this is normal time. Usually we take a gap year. We take 6 months just kind of resting, relaxing, energizing, okay? So most of the students who tell me, how long do you think will we get a job, okay? I'm like, rest for now. Take a month break. Disconnect from everything. So you come back with a fresh eye and you start applying. So it is okay not to find a job within the first 3 weeks of your graduation, okay? Or even the first month. It doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen faster than you expect. Some people stay literally for a couple of years before landing on their first job, again, which is normal, okay? So yes, be patient. You will find a job. It's not going to take years, but it will not take a day or a couple of days. And I just remembered another thing. Leila is on a group called 2021 Graduation on WhatsApp, okay? I've asked all of those who graduated to stay on the group, okay? So I can easily contact them as a group, know their whereabouts. They would share with me information pertaining to the environment, to the health, to what they're doing, and I would share with them information pertaining to different things that I see, okay, that might be of interest to them. It can be a job, maybe, that I saw it, I would forward it. It might be an experience that I had, I would share with it. For example, 2 weeks ago, I was going with my husband and sister-in-law to a center called Eco Center, where you have to take your bulk waste to that center. They will not collect it, okay? Unlike UAE or other countries, they come and collect. So they were mowing the lawn, and they were cutting the trees. So next day we had lots of dead tree branches and cardboards. So we piled it all in a car and we went to Eco Center, where you have different sections for different types of waste. So I was recording it to them, how there's a big area for electronics waste. There was a big area for greens, dead branches, a big area food waste, you know. So this group is for whatever is interesting that you might see and which is new that you did not know about. Okay, so you would also know what's going on elsewhere. Okay, because we're not only confined to Dubai, we're not only confined to UAE, it's the whole world now. Okay, sorry Leila, I interrupted you.
No, Dr. Lavlax, it was, I'm glad you shared this, because actually I was going to say that that's the connection when you have with your professors, even after graduating. We still speak to each other.
That's seriously so amazing. And as a student enrollment advisor, I feel really happy and warm and fuzzy knowing that all the students that I recruit are going into such nice, caring hands. Even the people who work here, we feel like we're part of a family. So it's really nice to hear that not only is that, you know, family aspect there, but there are professors like Dr. Aseel who, um, you know, go beyond that and who are really trying to get you out of that protective bubble and really make you ready to face the real world. And I think that's really important. And Dr. Aseel said it perfectly. We're not just producing numbers here. We're producing real adults who are going to be solving real world problems. And that's something to be incredibly proud of. And I really hope that all CUD grads feel that way about themselves and the degrees that they've earned.
Yeah, I can't wait. None of the students have any questions for Dr. Aseel for the enrollment? No one shared any questions?
I have a couple of questions for Dr. Aseel and for Laila. First of all, thank you very much for this. I would say discussion. You have clarified, and I really feel the warm vibe in the room right now. But Dr. Aseel, or maybe Laila also can answer this. A lot of students are asking about the development of their skills during the whole 4 years. So what is the outcome in it, in a sense of that, what would be the student expect when they graduate? What is the know-how that they're gonna gain after the 4 years of the study?
I'll let Leila start and say what are the know-hows she gained, what are the skills that she gained, and then I'll tell you what I would expect from the student to gain when he or she finishes the 4-year degree.
Actually, in what I have gained is all types of skills that has to do with public speaking, presenting, writing, everything, because we had project that we had to present. We had, for example, the research project, it's all about writing. So we actually improved all types of skills throughout the full 4 years. Of course, every time that we gain more courses, we meet more people, there's more skills that they are providing us. But from all types of skills, I got to improve everything.
Exactly,
Perfect.
exactly. So it's Leila said the majority of it again. Public speaking, okay, because they stand in front of group and they present, okay, and this is not always easy, okay, but once you have this ability to stand in confidence in front of a group, in front of a panel of judges, okay, this is an asset, okay. Writing skills also, we're not talking about a paragraph. You are talking about, again, a full report. So imagine Leila, a fresh graduate, was, again, I go back to her research, by her 4th year, she published in a scientific peer-reviewed Scopus journal. Okay, so that tells you about the abilities she gained towards her graduation, being able to analyze, evaluate, implement. The implementation is a skill that you gain. For example, Leila, it was last spring we took the occupational health, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this course, Occupational Health and Safety, they were given an assignment about analyzing risks. Okay, I told them, so I explained the theory. What are risks? How do you analyze the risks? How do you calculate the risks? How do you come up with mitigation? Okay, and I asked them, I told them, pick a day. Each of you goes on an outing, whatever outing this is. It can be even to the supermarket, it can be a dinner, it can be to a dentist, and you are requested to write every single potential hazard that you might face since the time you leave your home. You close your home till you come back. So they had to think about all potential hazards they can get exposed to on their way to their outing. Locked out of home, getting stuck in an elevator, God forbid, having a car accident, overspeeding, getting lost, if they're going for dinner, getting poisoned maybe. Each one of them came up with a full list of hazards. How dangerous is it? And what are the measures that they will take in order to avoid these hazards? Okay. When my student is able to do that at a bachelor degree level, I have no doubt that if he or she is hired as an occupational health and safety officer, they will do the right job, because hazards and risks are the core of occupational health and safety. Okay, when you are able to identify the hazard, identify the risk, and get mitigation actions, this is your core job as an occupational health and safety. They did it, each one of them. Okay, this was one example. Oh, another example, in one of the courses, I asked each one of them to go find a person in the field, either the field of environment or the field of health, someone who has an achiever, a CEO, a public speaker, and go interview them. Okay, go learn from them. How do they start their career? What do they do? What are the soft skills needed for such a position? What are the hardcore skills needed for such a position? Okay, go meet the people out there. Okay, the people are not only your professors in the department. Okay, start networking. This is also part of networking. Know who is out there. Send them emails. I'd like to interview you. 10 might not answer, one might answer. It's okay. It's okay to be rejected the first time and the second time and the third time, but at some point they will tell you, yes, we would want to meet you. So public speaking, writing, confidence, analyzing, evaluating, implementing, concluding, comprehending, all of these are skills they gain when they graduate. Okay, debates, they had debates amongst each other. They would select the same topic and someone would defend with, someone would defend against. Later on, when you start working, you have lots of defending to do. Okay, the same way I defend my program in front of the ministry when they visit us for re-accreditation, you will also defend in a job. Okay, you go to your CEO and you say, I need $1,000 for this project. He looks at you, why? Convince me. You need to convince them. Okay, you need to tell them, you need to stop doing this, you are harming the environment. He's going to look at you, convince me. Okay, if it does not make money for me, you need to convince me. Okay, so again, debate, this is part of the skills. So I hope me and Leila answered the question about the skills for whoever asked it, and the answer is satisfying.
100%, 100%. It's like, let's join the program now. Uh, no, that was very actually, and we can see that in Layla. It's like really obvious, and where she is in I mean, where did she go that far so up until now? And I know that she's doing an
Layla, I
internship as
consider
well.
her, Layla is considered one of the program ambassadors
Yeah.
because she is a true ambassador. When I joined CUD, Layla was in her second year, and I saw a 180-degree shift in Layla, character-wise, confidence-wise, logic-wise, thinking-wise, okay? So when I see such things in my students, I know that I did the right thing. I did my job. Always tell them it's not about getting an A and an A plus. No, okay? So please don't focus on I need an A plus in the course. Focus on I need to learn from this course, okay? And getting a C does not mean you're a bad student at all. It only means that there are certain topics you do not have the same interest as other topics, okay? Which is normal. I am not interested in math. I suffer in math, okay? But that doesn't mean I'm a bad student, okay? So focus on learning from me rather than just focusing, do we memorize the slide or we don't memorize the slide? Do I need an A? Please, please. No, no. You don't get an A here, but you're gonna get an A in another course because I know your abilities.
All right. Yes, that makes sense. And also, Dr. Aseel, I wanted to ask you, does that the program um, require considered as a pre-med school?
Yes,
And is there any like what is the science part of the program? If you
yes.
can
This 4-year program
explain
is
further.
considered a pre-med program, okay? And actually, we have 2 students this year who have finished and they have applied for Khalifa University to continue medicine. Okay, so the science courses that are of interest for pre-med students, you've got Bio 101, you've got fundamentals of human systems, you've got chemistry, you've got microbiology, you've got infectious diseases, you've got non-infectious diseases, you've got applied statistics, okay? So this is a snapshot of the science courses that you might be exposed to in the program. In addition to, there's a full study plan that you can always refer to on the website that have the science, the pure science component that you will be requested when you apply for when you apply to a medical school.
Okay, okay. Um, okay, I have a question also. I think this is for Greta. What are the documents that are required to apply for the program?
Sure. So for the admissions process here, for most curriculums, you're going to need an average score of 70 in your senior year of high school. But when you're applying, which you can do in person or you can do online through our website, most of you are going to just need your high school transcripts from grades 10, 11, and 12, as well as your passport and your Emirates ID if you have one. Now, the admissions requirements are slightly different for a different curriculum like American and CBSE. But as soon as you start an application, you will immediately get connected with a recruiter who will help you get all the documents necessary for a perfect and polished application.
Okay. Thank you so much, Greta. Dr. Asila, I have a very interesting question, actually, from Aya Aboud here. She's asking about the AI and the information technology with environmental health management or with public health management in general. And she has a concern that a lot of jobs would not be necessary because robots will be instead of human in the future. So what is the scope here? What is the concern that a student that is about to start his career in that field, what would you, I'm sure the robots will not be a replacement for human 100%, but what is your
Who
advice on
controls
that?
robots? Yes,
Yeah.
I no, Aya's question is very, very clever, by the way. But at the end of the day, Aya, who's going to control those robots? It's us. We are creating these creatures. Ala, there are certain programs or areas of expertise that cannot be replaced by programs 100%. Even if you look at health nowadays, some hospitals have moved to, for certain surgeries, have moved to robotic surgery, right? But who controls the robot? There's a doctor behind the robot controlling it, okay? So the robot is not automatically coded and the robot does the robotic surgery from A to Z. There is still a medical doctor controlling this robot, okay? This is when it comes to health in a snapshot. Environment, modeling, when we need to know climate change effects. For example, the paper Leila worked on, assessing indicators of climate change. Yes, the computer gives you the data, okay, but you need to do the modeling for the data to understand whether you have a trend, whether whether global warming is increasing or decreasing. You need to put in the parameters, the initial parameters, in order to be able to come out with a result, if that makes sense. So AI is very important. One of our courses is digital health, okay? So again, health being digitalized, how does it work? Modeling, environmental modeling in air and marine pollution. But again, there's always a human being behind the AI. It will not happen automatically. You would tell me, in the next 100 years, would we completely shift to AI? Possibly. I would tell you Tesla nowadays, fully computerized, okay? So far, there has been 4 accidents with Tesla, you know, 2 led to the death of the drivers. 1 led to the complete destruction of the car going into a tree, okay? Are we ready to be fully AI? Not yet. So I think you still have a chance to go in to work. Maybe for the generation of your grandkids, it might be a possibility. I don't know. Does that answer Aya's question?
Yeah, I think you covered it very well, Dr. Aseel.
Okay. And
Thank
I
you so
see
much.
a question here written.
Yeah,
So
from my,
May
yes.
Busla is asking us, what are the courses that include math? Okay, May, first you've got applied statistics, okay, pure math, okay, and then the courses that, and Leila, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got health informatics and health statistics. Okay, this has a bit of math. You've got health economics and financial management. That has a bit of math. You've got epidemiology and biostatistics. Also math. You've got performance and service improvement KPIs in math. Now, those are some of the courses. Now, saying that, I don't know whether I freaked you out because you don't like math, or you do like
Yeah,
math and you want to know the courses. So
I was
which
about
one
to
is
say
it?
that. I was about to say that actually. I think she got triggered when you, Dr. Aseel, said that you don't like math. So she assumed that we have a lot of math
No, me
subjects
in
there.
general,
So
since school days, I don't like math. I mean, I still use my hand to calculate, you know, and I'm like, okay. So I don't know, May, did that freak you out or not? But do remember that you are already, or you will be well equipped for these courses, okay? You're not gonna come from a pure art background and suddenly be exposed to math or sequentials or vectors. So we're not talking about a math major, okay? So it is the basic math that you need to understand in order to be able to move on. So for example, when we talk about it freaked her out. So when we talk about epidemiology and biostatistics, okay, it's more about when I need to ask you about the median, where the middle, okay, or the mean of the population, on a graph where you've got your y-axis and x-axis, and you know where the population is rising, where is it going down. So remember, the math you are exposed to in a degree of public health is unlike the math you get exposed to in accounting, in engineering, in math, in business. So we are not talking the same level of math, okay? So believe me, May, if I made it through math, you will make it through math. Be sure, okay? If I survived it and I was able to pass, you will. Remember, my time, we were not allowed calculators and scientific calculators. Now you've got scientific calculators.
Thank you, Dr. Aseel. It's actually lead me to a question to Layla, which kind of like the same in the same thing that a lot of students are coming as a new student here in the CUD, and they want to start their first class would be like an orientation to the program. But from you, Layla, like from your point of view, how the student should be getting ready to his first semester or to his first year? Would they should be they freak out, for example, for math, or what was your experience in the first year? And what is your advice also to the freshmen?
I did freak out. No one should freak out. Actually, see, first year is only introduction. This is the nice thing about it. And no one's pressuring you for a high demand of learning. يعني إنه it's still an introduction. You're taking the elective courses. Everything is still like it's very simple. Actually, it's very simple. And every course that you're taking for the next year, it's only prerequisites. So, anyways, we're giving like the university is giving the equipment, the information that will assist for the upcoming years. So no, if freaking out, that's what I did in the beginning, but I found out that actually I was wrong. And again, professors are very, very helpful in case anyone had any questions with the courses, even for later on when they're in their graduation. So it's easy.
And Ahmad, freaking out is a normal part of a process for anyone.
Yeah.
Didn't you freak out the first day you joined your
Of
new
course.
job? Greta,
Yes.
didn't
Yeah.
you freak out? I mean, I walked in the first day and they were students, and I'm like, I hope this session is gonna go okay. I hope I'm gonna say the right things. I hope I don't mess it out, you know? And
Yeah.
you're like, when it's over, I'm like, thank God. And session, it never gets easy because you're delivering a message, and you want to make sure that you're delivering the right message at the right time and the correct information. So freaking out is part of the process, whether you're a student, whether you're going to try a new job, whether you're moving to a new house, a new country. It's more human nature than just being associated with a student.
It's
Yes.
so true. And
Yeah,
even
agree.
at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, everybody was freaking out, and now look at us. People are ripping off their masks and like practically licking each other. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
but so it is now 1 minute to closing. So if anybody has any closing remarks that they would like to add before we wrap it up and post this to our YouTube channel.
I'd like to say, well, thank you for all of you guys. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Greta, for organizing this. Thank you, Leila, for taking the
Thank
time
you.
and joining us and representing your degree. Thank you for all the potential students who listened in. I think one of the takeaway messages that I want to say is follow your heart, okay? There are lots of majors out there that we used to hear are so important. You have to become a doctor. You have to become an engineer. You have to become a lawyer, okay? The world out there is way bigger than just becoming a doctor or becoming an engineer or. Although all of these majors are very important, okay? If you want to give back to your community, if you want to give back to your society, if you are a people's person, if you are a nature's person, okay, environment and health is the right place to be. Not only you give back to humans, but you will also give back to the earth that did give you something. You utilize natural resources on daily basis. Have you thought about that? For free? For free. The air is for free. The rivers, the sea is for free, okay? The food produce that you can pick while you're walking in a forest is for free. You don't pay for it, okay? So again, if you want to give back in a way or another, this is a right program for you. If you want to get the science, you're into sciences, but you don't want to end up in a pure biology major or chemistry major or physics major, this combines the biology, the physics, the sciences, and more importantly, it combines the management. Remember, it's called an environmental health management. So it has the aspect of business also, management. So you won't end up working in a lab. No, you can manage a lab, okay? Not as soon as you graduate, give it a couple of years to add on your experience. So always remember the term management. So it combines the science and the management. And today's talk was not at all to push you to this program. I'm very happy with this program. This program is my baby. I'd love to see you part of this program and flourish with me, because I would have not flourished if it were not for my students, okay, who excelled in their classes, who made me proud in their achievements. And these are achievements, okay, because later on I would say, Layla was my student, X was my student, and they would say, Aseel taught us, okay? Again, I look forward welcoming you. I look forward meeting you personally, hopefully in September. And I have a habit of all new students come under my supervision, okay? Just to make them ease into the system, okay? So if you are a new student, you will be my advisee. And when I'm comfortable and I see that you are settled, you have the option to stay with me as a student or shift to another advisor for advising when it comes to your study plan. So rest assured, you will be under good hands, caring hands. You will receive from me a welcoming email when you first join with all my contacts, including my mobile, that every student WhatsApps me on nowadays, like that's it. It's casual now. And you will be eased into the program, okay? There's nothing to worry about. University years are the best years in your life. So make sure to make the best out of it. It's not only about studying, it's about studying, networking, making friendships that will last later on, okay? Experiencing the real world outside, okay? Having an opinion, talking about things you disagree with, okay? So best of luck to all of you here who joined us today. And make sure that you stay positive and test negative.
Amazing. Dr. Aseel, thank you so much. I could not have said it any better myself. And I have to second the whole listen to your heart, follow your passion thing. Whether that puts you in this major or in a different major, it's the right thing to do. And you won't end up being 26 in a quarter life crisis going back to school for what you wished that you had studied when you were 18. Um, so,
Yeah.
but thank you all so much for joining us today. For those of you who are interested in applying, I suggest you go to our website and just start an application. We'll get in touch with you as soon as possible. You'll be hearing from us, and we'd love to hear from any and all of you. So thank you again for
Thank
joining us
you.
Thank you,
tonight.
guys.
We're going to
Thank you,
wrap things
everyone.
up and see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.